you know, what am I thinking about? I started that again. Some chances of, boy, Hello, my friends. So this morning I'm coming to you. It is a Friday. My boys are gone on the Dad's Day Out. This is a weekly thing that they do. The Muffin, my husband, pastor husband, takes Josiah, our teenage son, and they do the day together. They have lunch, they wander the academy and the mall and the places that boys and men like to go. And I get I get a few hours at home that I can do what I want to, that I need to, or that I don't want to and need to. So I have my coffee, and I'm going to talk to you today about 8 things, I think there are 8 things, that you can do right now in your homeschool to make it more beautiful. Now, I'm not talking about like beautiful as the pretty, visually appealing beautiful. I'm talking about things that either add depth to your homeschool, add a little class to your homeschool, make it richer and fuller, and also make maybe things a little bit easier on you as well. I know there are a lot of days that we don't feel like we get a whole lot of stuff done, and where do I fit everything in? And hopefully these things, and probably most of them, you are already doing. And if that's the case, good job. I'm just reinforcing the obvious. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is if you are not having some portion of your day that you're reading aloud, or you are using an audiobook, you need to do that now. You need to make immediate time. Even if you think you don't have any time, this is the absolute one thing that you will not regret doing, I promise you. And so fit it into your schedule. Now, I have beside me a few of our favorite read alouds through the years, and there's a little bit for every stage. Now, I have a whole list of our favorite read alouds that I have included in our blog sometime back. So I will try and link that below so you see the big old list. First of all, this was one of Josiah's favorites, Hop on Pop, from when he was little. And Dr. Seuss books are great for early reading as well as the read alouds. The rhyming is spectacular, and so make sure that you are using these, even if your kids are a little bit older. These are ones that they can even start reading themselves. But always read. Now, I don't have a whole lot of the little reading list because it's been a while since we've been in that age group. The next little bit, this is one of my favorite books, and one of the easiest books to read aloud are Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Anything by Roald Dahl is a good read aloud. So James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, Matilda. Any have Charlotte's Web, but that is probably my favorite book of all time to read aloud to children. I read it to every kindergarten class I had, every reading club I had, every group of students I had. I read Charlotte's Web. It is a terrific. Also, this is not necessarily a classic, but these are the funniest books. Hank and the Cowdog are the funniest little books, and they have them on CD. And they're great. They're great that way too. But they're not so hard to read. And boys in particular, well, I have a boy, just love those. So Hank and the Cowdog, his boy, primarily because this was one of Josiah's favorites. But all of the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis, this has to be on your reading list. All of these books at some point in time. So check those out. Got a little bit older. This, of course, is The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. We actually used the Focus on the Family audio for this book, so it's not necessarily word for word, but we loved it so much that I had read it obviously previously when I was a lot younger, but Josiah loved it so much that we actually gifted brand new copies to all of my nieces and nephews on my mom and dad's side. So this is so good, and it just is powerful, and it's all the things our kids and that we need to hear. So I love that. I don't have out, but we have read over and over again, is The Hobbit. It has been one of Josiah's favorite and mine. I think Hobbit is probably one of, like, at the very top of the favorites book list. So, you know, read alouds they can be as complicated or as easy as you want to make them if you just include a little bit of time in each day and be consistent with it. You know, make sure that you're consistent with your read alouds. Thing that you need to do to add beauty and depth to your homeschool is you need to make a plan of contingency. These are for days that there's something going on, weeks, because a lot of us have weeks like that, something going on, that someone's sick, or you are low energy yourself, or it's been crazy and you don't feel like anything is getting done and you feel guilty. You need to have a list of things that you can do, that your kids can do. When Josiah was a lot littler, I used to have like little label buckets that said math and art, and all inside were manipulatives that he could grab and work with. Now my list is a lot of documentaries or podcasts, or a folder full of some worksheets or some kind of things that will help you feel like you've accomplished something through the week. So right now, where you're feeling good and you're thinking about it, you need to go through and have a list of things that you can do when things don't go the way you think they should. And trust me, they will. If you haven't had that moment in time yet, you're just an anomaly, because they certainly will. So go ahead and do that right now. Next thing I want to talk to you about is to plan to include art, quality art and music into your homeschool program. And you don't have to do this in a structured way more than you need to do it organically, especially if you're not sure where to fit it in, if you don't really want to get involved in all the heavy-duty lessons and units. Do this organically. I think you will find just a lovely place for it in your homeschool. Now, it can be, I'm going to show you this book. You don't have to do it. You don't have to go out and purchase a bunch of books. This is one I don't even know where I found. I've had it for years, but it's a children's book of art. And through it are all sorts of, you know, beautifully themed pictures, and it tells you where they are, or what they are, who painted them, the year, and so even if you have something like this that you just go through and you look at the pictures, even one a week, or place art. I have done in the past where I have printed off a certain artist. We really like Winslow Homer. Or is it Homer Winslow? I think it's Winslow Homer. Music-wise, organically, make yourself a playlist of beautiful music that either you enjoy or that you find are lists. There's plenty of lists of classical music or other kinds of music that should be listened to, and just have it playing in the background while you're studying. I used to do this when I was a teacher, and I would have it on during some quiet moments in the classroom, and it made such a big difference. And that way they're exposed to the music, and also, especially classical music in particular, engages the brain. That is really, really interesting. Okay, the next thing that you need to do right now is to incorporate some kind of nature study into your homeschool weekly or monthly, however you can do it. It doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing with lots of poster boards and laminates and, you know, scavenger list, and you don't have to bring out the whole art supply. Even if it's just going on your walk and gathering things that are interesting. At my mom's house, of course, they live it out in the country, and on the window sills there are, you know, unusual wood shapes, interesting pine cones and things that they have found, nests, and they have, you know, gathered these things together to be enjoyed and to be looked at. Eventually, and we all know little boys, eventually, you know, you're gonna have too much of that stuff. But make sure that you are taking some time through your week to talk about the beauty of God's creation, how things work. Even if it's organically, you don't have to make a big production of it, but make sure you're including that. And I'm telling you, there's nothing just like a walk, just a simple nature walk down the street. Even if you live in we lived in in city where there weren't a lot of opportunities to do that. So we would have to kind of go to the park, or we'd have to find a little nature hike to do that. But we tried to do that faithfully at least once a week, even the winter months, even if it's like 15 minutes, stop at the park on your way home from something. You will be blessed. You'll see great results from that. Okay, so the next thing to do is, right now you need to start incorporating some hands-on experiences with your kiddos. They could be simple science experiments, they could be cooking, they could be art projects, they could be making of models, even some puzzle work, something that lets them get their bodies involved. It helps, I don't know, connect the dots with a lot of kids. It doesn't have to be a huge big mess. It doesn't have to be every day, but you need to think of something that kind of adds a little life to your homeschool day or homeschool experience that helps them kind of remember things. Okay, so another thing that I think should be incorporated into every homeschool day that adds depth and beauty is afternoon tea. Now, you do not have to have tea. You do not even have to do it in the afternoons, but basically this is a time that everyone is quiet. You gather together. You can do your read aloud then. You can read some poetry. You can just sit quietly and do some simple hands-on things, but they're to kind of rest the soul a little bit, and they kind of add that pause to your day. And trust me, we all need some pauses. And there's nothing wrong with even sitting quietly and doodling and just listening to a book. That's when we do it. We do it in the afternoons. I fix myself a cup of hot tea. Josiah grabs himself a snack, and whatever he's drinking, he's usually drinking a bottle of water. And I will turn on our audiobook, whatever audiobook that we are focusing on at the time. And sometimes I'll doodle, sometimes I'll do loom knitting. He usually is drawing or writing something, and we just listen, and it's quiet. There's not any other distractions around. So try adding that into your day. The seventh thing is that you need to be going to the library. You heard my little library ditty at the very beginning of this video. You need to be doing it. You need to be like getting your library card and hauling the kids to the library. I don't care if you do it once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month. The babies need to be going to the library. It has been said that all a homeschooler needs to homeschool their kids effectively and beautifully is a library card. And I really have come to believe that. Not that I was not a fan of the library before. Believe me, it is the happiest place on earth besides Hobby Lobby and maybe church. going to talk about when it comes to adding beauty and depth and enriching your homeschool experience is to volunteer. Now, this could be as simple as making a loaf of bread to take to a neighbor, thinking about some shut-ins in your church or your area, volunteering at a local community center, visiting nursing homes, writing letters to military personnel, anything that stretches you beyond yourself and contributes to society at large. You need to be doing those kinds of things. Now, in the past, we have volunteered at a nursing home. We have presently help in our community kitchen meal. We have a free meal every Monday night at our church, and so we could do that. In the past, Josiah has done things as far as vacuuming our church foyer. He is presently not doing that, but he will get back to that. Anything that you can do, that you can include your children in, that stretch them beyond themselves, that make them understand that they are living in a world beyond themselves, and there's so many ways that we can help other people. Even if we feel like we need a little help ourselves, those things are just tremendous. Josiah has painted, little 90-year-old fingernails at nursing homes. He sat in them and watched Westerns. Those little nursing home people just absolutely loved him, and as a result, I think he's comfortable with every generation, and he's also has such a kind and compassionate heart. So that is all I have for you. I could probably talk a whole lot more, because these kinds of things I have been including in my homeschool life for a long time, and I have seen them work for us personally. So God bless you. Have a nice day. Do some things that you love to do. Hug your people, and I will see you again. Bye.